Now that your syllabus is completed, you have an outline of your course and the grades and the assignments that you're going to do, and you've gotten that loaded into the course. You may feel like you want to just go in, dive right into content, build all those assignments, do all of that. I would caution that you want to do your gradebook setup next, just because as you're building those assignments and adding in those learning activities, as you're doing that, you can add them into your gradebook framework and not have to go in and edit the gradebook afterwards. So it may feel a little bit like, ooh, I don't want to even touch the gradebook yet. But I would strongly recommend, if you are inheriting content, that at this point you look at the gradebook and you see how it's formatted. Make sure that it's formatted to the way that your syllabus is set up. And if you've got content and you're not seeing the gradebook set up, that at this point you want to set up the gradebook and then start adding in those assignments into the gradebook. That'll make the rest of the training sessions work a little bit better, so that you can build things into the gradebook as you go. So I would do the gradebooks next. So I'm going to put the gradebook video in at this point in the training as well. So I will do a brief, really brief overview of the gradebook. So the first thing I want to say is, in the Brightspace Training Resources course, which will be your best friend for a while, I feel, as we onboard to the system and everyone gets used to it, that there's a giant chunk of information in here called instructor resources. And you can see it's got 88 items in it. So there's a lot. Under assessment tools is grades. So there's a link here, your one-stop shop for grades, Brightspace guided training, which will take you to the Brightspace guided training course. There are also some web pages about entering grades, creating categories, creating an item, exporting exemptions. So all of these things are to really dive deep and really learn about things that grades offers. And again, here, learn about grades, configure your settings with the setup wizard, create an advanced, all of these things. I very, very much encourage you to go through to learn about the gradebook. There are a lot of things that you can accomplish and do with the gradebook. So do the training on grades, use the resources that D2L has done, because they're going to give you a lot more information than I'm going to give you in this condensed format. But I did want to let you know where you can get those resources, where you can get that help, and to really kind of use the full power of the gradebook that's available to you with Brightspace with D2L. So there is a handy dandy setup wizard that will take you through 7 steps that will allow you to choose if you're doing a point based or a weighted based grade book. For the most part, for most of the courses that I've seen, more grade books fall into the weighted category than the points, just because the weighted grade book gives you a little bit more freedom when you need to add assignments or remove assignments, because you're not going to have to readjust your points for everything because of adding or removing something or adjusting something. Weighted gives you a little bit more flexibility in that, but it also gives you a wide range of things that you can do. So weighted, and then calculated, adjusted, automatically release. If you plan on adjusting your grade at the end, go for that adjusted. Read through each of these options, go through the training, figure out what all of them are. If you don't want to, you can always go in and change this to treat ungraded items as 0 at the end of the term, so that everything can get zeroed out pretty quickly. Do not leave your gradebook scheme on percentage. Choose the correct catalog grade scale for your program. For undergraduate, that is going to be A through F. Some of the graduate programs are going to either be A through C or A through B. These gradebook schemes are set up in alignment with the gradebook. So choose the one that is correct for your program. And that will also be the same grade scale that is in the syllabus template. Again, make sure you are using the syllabus template. Choose the number of decimal places, how you want students to view things. Do you want them to see the final calculated? Do you want them to see decimals? All of these things. How do you want that to display? Then your summary, finish it. There, you're done. Now you're going to take and you're going to open up your syllabus or you look at it on your desk, wherever you're sitting, and create those grade categories. Discussion, your tests, what is your weight that you're giving to them? Are you going to manually assign weight to each item? Or do you want to distribute it across all items in the category? Do you want to drop the lowest? Do you want to drop the highest score in a category? Do you want to drop the lowest score in a category? Select what fits best for that category. There are also some other extra things that can be done, some extra settings, save and close, or save and add new. It will tell you, hey, look, your final calculated grade is only 10%, not 100%. You have 90% more that you need to add into your grade. All of that. So, add your new item. You can reorder things. You can make things visible, hide things. All of that, all of those are in there. So, kind of click through. It'll tell you, hey, look, here's the default. This is what all of my things are defaulted to. That's under the schemes. So build out that grade book, make sure that all your categories are there, because as long as your categories are there, you'll be able to assign items to the categories as your editing settings for any assignments or quizzes or discussions or any of your activities. Also, Brightspace gives us the ability to do deeper integrations with our LTIs. So if you are using a digital textbook or resources with Cengage, McGraw-Hill, Pearson, Learner, the list goes on and on and on. If you're using those and want to use those, a lot of them will have grade integrations. So the grades can be sent back to Brightspace. So your grades for activities that our students that are doing within Brightspace and things that they are doing within the textbook resources can all be graded together so that you can have a final grade that includes all of those items, all of those tasks that students have been engaging with across their course. So do your gradebook next. And once you get that set up, you can move on to the next part of this training.